Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Karishma Explores Life, and this is Karishma, and in today's video I am back in Nepal covering the Bhaktapur Durbar Square, which is famously known as an open-air museum, and Pottery Square, which has some amazing clay handicrafts that you can get in Nepal. Thank you for watching! Bhaktapur is located about 15 kilometers outside of Kathmandu, and it can take you anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get here, dependent on the traffic. If you're visiting Nepal during the summer, then I highly recommend that you get to any of these locations early in the morning just to beat the afternoon heat, because during midday the temperatures can range from 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, and it was quite hot when we were outdoors, and it was quite hard to focus on taking in the sights when all you wanted to do was just sit down in the shade somewhere and stay cool. And now a little bit of history about the Bhaktapur Durbar Square. This square is part of the ancient Newari city of Bhaktapur, and this square actually used to be part of an ancient royal palace to the Malla dynasty kings in the 13th century. And today it has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and for a very good reason, because the architecture here is amazing. This square has a collection of temples, palaces, and smaller and bigger courtyards, and it honestly reflects on Newari architecture so well, because you see the classic red bricks and the wooden work on almost all of the buildings, and it's really refreshing to see how well maintained and clean this place is. The building that is the red bricks and the wooden windows is known as the 55 Window Palace, and it is exactly as the name suggests. It's a palace with 55 windows, and this structure was built originally in the 1420s by the king Yaksha Malla, who was part of the Malla dynasty, and it was later remodeled in the 17th century by one of his descendants, and it is supposedly one of the oldest monuments that is standing in Nepal. The giant bell that you see is called the Teleju bell, and it was built by the Malla kings for their patron goddess Teleju Bhavani. The city of Bhaktapur actually has 4 squares, and Durbar Square is just one of them. The other 3 squares are called the Dattatreya Square, the Tomadi Square, and the Pottery Square. I didn't have enough time to visit all 4 of these squares, so I actually just opted to visit the Durbar Square and the Pottery Square. But I do recommend visiting all 4 of these squares if you do have the time, because each of them has a quite unique feature to it. For example, the Dattatreya Square has a temple for Lord Dattatreya, and there are smaller temples for Lord Vishnu and Ganeshji. And then there is also the pagoda style temple in the Pottery Square that is called the Bhaktapur temple, and it is one of the most famous temples of this pagoda style in Nepal. So I would really recommend it if you do have the time. On the way to the Pottery Square, I walked through many of these small alleys with a lot of handicraft shops, and most of these shops had these copper and brass items that I really liked looking at. A lot of them were these same items that you found in Kathmandu, but at a more decent price. So if you do want to grab some of these items, I would recommend getting them from here. I really do wish I had more time to spend in Bhaktapur because I loved looking at the architecture and walking through these alleys. It was absolutely beautiful, and I feel like the city has such a nice calming vibe, and the charm of the old architecture along with the friendliness of the people honestly made this such a great experience. And finally, I arrived in Pottery Square, and when I got my first glimpse of the clay items baking under the sun, I was so excited because there were so many different items to choose from, and all of the artists here are so talented. There were tiny items that I have no idea how they carved out. And if you're really into pottery like me, then some of these shops even offer lessons on how to make some of the souvenirs yourself, and you can take them home, and they are pretty decently priced. So if this is something of interest to you, then I would really recommend doing it. And that's it for today's short video. If you enjoyed that, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.